it made my research, which I've been doing for many years, but it made it possible to do it the best possible way. Like being here enough time that I can not only conduct the interviews I need to conduct and the observations, but also have time to think in between them, to analyze, so that the next interview, the next observation, I can do better. So I use qualitative methodology mostly, and having enough time to engage with the subject and to do things in a way that is not rushed is very important, because I study what I study without simplifying it. I study it in its full complexity. So having the Fulbright, and I don't know yet how, it'll take me a while to really get all the benefits, but already I can say it has been incredibly beneficial for my research. Well, Fulbright is so prestigious that it really opens doors, not only academic doors in my discipline, which is media studies, but also the doors in the sector, in the industry that I study. And all those doors are essential. The fact that I'm here with a Fulbright gave me access that I really needed in my research. All those doors that are essential, I know they're going to multiply in time the moment I start sharing the fruits of my research in conferences, in publications. This will keep going. So yeah, no, it was essential. So I think I took too long to apply, because even though for many years, my dream was to get a Fulbright. But then there were the many years in which I realized if I actually go to Türkiye and I can be there a few months, I can do my research the best possible way. But I kept thinking of the personal part. I kept thinking, can I go away from my home, from my university, my students, my colleagues, my family for this many months? Can I do that? And that really was the part that stopped me. So the interesting thing is that now that I've done it, I realize that all those things, they work out in a way. My family took turns to visit me, and the research just benefited so much. So my advice is apply, go for it, because it feels like a really long shot, like something that is impossible to get. And that's how I felt all the time. But if you don't apply, you will never ever get it. And it is such a worthy experience. So apply, that's the advice. In my case, to be honest, I almost didn't look at the title. When I was looking to apply, I was looking for the award, the grant that would fit best what I needed. I knew I did not need it to come for a whole year. So I needed an award that allowed me to come here for less than a year. It needed to be an award in Türkiye. I also thought, even though my level of Turkish language is intermediate, I felt that it was better if the award didn't have a language requirement, because I would feel less pressure. So I really did apply to the one that fit my needs. After I received it, after I got notice that I had received it, then for a moment there, I felt the pressure of the title. I felt very honored, and at the same time very humbled by it. And then I decided to put it, like, this is there and I have to do the job, and that's it. So I haven't really dwelled on it, but that also tells you that we women sometimes we sell ourselves short. And I wish somebody would have told me before, which is I needed to keep my department head in the US informed and involved. I am applying to a Fulbright. This is what I'm doing. I passed the first round. I got the Fulbright. So I did tell her from the beginning, I am doing this. But I think I should have told her before I started. because your department head in your American university is going to be a key supporter and a key enabler of things that have to happen for you to go away, so you can get, the time off that you need from your responsibilities in the US. So that's the advice I would give people. Just tell your department head or whatever authority is above you in the US what you plan to do. I think, this sounds big, but I think I learned, so I'm 66 years old, and with this Fulbright, I learned that you can grow up a lot at any age. I have grown up in these months a lot, and I am 66 years old, but I have become, without taking any of the rigor of my research away, I have become more patient. I have become more resourceful, because in Türkiye, things rarely happen as you think they're going to happen. You have to improvise all the time. You have to be resourceful. I've become more resourceful, and I think in the process, I've become more joyful. So I think that has been incredible. As far as experiences, oh my God, I could write a book about that. But I would say, I will never forget, like there are some moments that I don't think I'll ever forget. One was, having lunch with a very knowledgeable distributor of Turkish series. She sells these series around the world. And I had lunch with her in her office. The food was homemade, made by a lady who works for their office. This is a small office. And having that Turkish food that was homemade with her and the conversation just reminded me of the joy that I feel in my research, the wonders of sharing information and a meal, but also the hospitality of this country and the warmth that is so amazing. So that's one moment. Another moment now has to do more with my personal life, but it's something that I'll never forget. So I have grown-up children and I have 2 grandsons, and my daughter came with her husband, my youngest daughter, the one that has the children, came with her husband and with the 2 kids. They are 1-year-old and 4-year-old, and they stay with me for 1 week. And every day I would meet them somewhere where they were doing their tourism, and then we would walk down back to the apartment, down Kurtuluş Caddesi. And there is a man who sells cookies. And my grandson Alejandro, who's 4, every day he wanted some cookies. And so I would go in there with my bad Turkish and buy him the kurabiye he wanted. And after they left, 2 days later, I'm walking and this man came out and said, Alejandro nerede? Where is Alejandro? I'm like, Alejandro gitti. Neden? I'm like, because he doesn't live here. And he said, oh, Alejandro çok karizmatik, çok üzüldüm. I'm like, bence de. And I thought this is Türkiye for me. It's about the neighborhood where you live. The fact that I know that now half of the people here know that's the professor who can speak some Turkish, and we sell her bread, her meat, her fish, and everything, and she loves sütlaç, and that for me represents this country and my experience here. Resilient. This is a very resilient country and culture, and I'm trying to understand what makes them resilient. And I think it has to do with how long the history is. I was born in Venezuela and I've lived half of my life in the US. These countries are babies compared to, something like the Ottoman Empire or the Seljuk establishing themselves. And I think it is that the history here is so much longer people know that tomorrow will come, no matter if today is bad. And people are very resilient here. They are always finding a way in every possible way, even if it is, even if sometimes people will feel that politically it doesn't go their way, they persist. They are resilient, they go to vote. And just like that for every day. There's nothing more enlightening than taking, the public transportation here very, very early in the morning. I mean, very, very early, when the people who go to work very, very early are there, and you are there just with the working class of Istanbul, and you see the determination in their eyes. So this is that word, resilient.